So, hello and welcome to another episode of the Cyclist Amateur Tactics, where we follow two Archanen cycling enthusiasts in the game The Cyclist Tactics, who simply want to have fun in one cycling race every month and see how far they can get. And without further ado, let's continue where we left off in the last episode. So we left off with some reasonably good results at the Bizarro sprints. One mishap that led us being placed a bit worse than we could have on time, but second for the green jersey, so that's decent enough, I guess. End of the season, so let's see where we placed among the amateur teams, because we still get a reasonably high points haul. And so 18th, and a few teams still behind us, so reasonably well contested. So let's say we have something like 260, then the others are not too far behind. And overall, I think the setup has served us reasonably well. And so let's see what the evaluation says. Higher than last year? Well, that's not difficult. Yeah, overall team performance in the league not well, but we're still two amateur riders, level 3 and level 2, so not to be expected. And the sponsor's happy, so as I said in the first episode, Maxim's parents are happy that his son did reasonably well. And yeah, we're not going to update the roster of riders. We're simply sticking with the group of two friends and where this takes us. So these were, I think, all the good results that we had. Highest points haul in the sprints. Actually, we're the fourth. We had the error of Timur as well. So that was decent. And Maxim did 128. So the majority of the points haul. And Vladislav got 36. So, next season. So, that's the plan for the next season. Everything is generated automatically and randomly, so we have to see what we actually have. So, Great Lakes Tour to start things off. Or the Lannan Grand Prix. And here we have an Insane Mountain, and here we have a Mountain Time Trial, which doesn't look that mountainous. And the others, this one is nasty. With the fitness peak, this one is actually the nastier one, and first and two are fine, whereas we're probably going to be pretty dead here. So Great Lakes Tour it is, then Arrow of Timur again, most definitely. Too bad we missed out on the Rolling Hills race, because there we were decent last time. Though here with the hilly finish we might not be, but this is going to be anyway. Oh, Vitessa Spring Open as the only choice that we have, since the Lure Coast race would need 3 riders. Yeah, and this will probably be on the trough, so I wonder whether we should bother. Well, we still get XP, even. And this is actually probably really going to be a case where we won't finish after a fitness peak for Timur's Arrow, which we will probably have. So yeah, will be very interesting. Weisshorn Challenge or Wilder Rhone Tour, I think. Wow, that's going to be interesting. And we're not going to do this again. So that's clear. Rising Sunrush or Hills of Vasduk. Say Rising Sunrush, it's flat. Ellisbury Cup, I think we didn't have that last time, and that also looks pretty nice, better than the Naubat Classic. Road to Novobeskov or Round Highport. Flat Light Cobble, but we don't have tech riders. And what's the competition? 25, 27. I still go with the tour here. Although this is fine. This is probably fine till the climb at the middle, and this, yeah, No, so this is a debatable at least. Southern Loop Classic, we didn't have that last time. So the only choice anyway. And let's do the Bizarro Sprints again. What I wonder for the Vitessa Spring Open, so for these, should we get some amateur climber so that we won't drop out of the entire event if both can't finish? Could be something to keep in mind. But let's do the planning. So for the time being, everyone takes part in everything anyway. So at least this looks probably a bit better. I don't need Vladislav to be good for the Teamless Arrow. I'm putting I wonder there's no real surprises here probably. So for Maxim I think things are clear to an extent clear. So Timos, so that's set. I want to have a fitness peak for the tour, for the Great Lakes tour, for the regeneration. But it'll also be nice, maybe have Vladislav go for these two. It hurts a bit to, well, we don't have a shot at the Road of Novobeskov for the third stage anyway. What about the Bizarro Sprints? It was useful to have Vladislav there to pick up the pieces with a mishap for Maxim. At the same time, it's probably futile to enter a 5-stage tour without the fitness peak, and might not be too bad in the time trial due to endurance if this matters in the end. So this is probably going to be set, and this also, and this as well. So where to put the minor fitness peak for Vladislav? I think I leave it where it is, and then we are a bit underpowered for the sprints. Or treat this as an experience. See whether we can. And we probably won't be anyway. Get this climb will probably kill our overall chances even if we made it to the time trial. So no. So Maxim goes for Arrow of Timur, and if he can do well here due to the time trial stage, and the rest will be a matter of an exercise getting through. He won't have much help with Vladislav having regeneration of 1 without the fitness peak, but that's okay. We're going to try our luck again at the Bizarro Sprints, which, apart from the nasty start here, don't look too terrible, so that we have both with a fair shot, Maxim due to the time trial again, to the opening prologue, and then simply Vladislav through sheer endurance. And I don't want to have him drop here. And for the long classics, that's more Vladislav's territory anyway. So I want to have the big fitness peak here, and let's see what we can do at the Ellis Tour. There is Sala and Bianco Insurance. They're pretty high up. The Lakes Vista Watches, they're going to win that, and here Doriana Velo, so they're all pretty high up, so it doesn't really matter. Well, the only question left to answer is, do we want to get sort of a climber? Because Maxim is yeah, not making it past the second stage probably. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'll add Ulan Timorbekov to the team, who is a climber. Pretty terrible attack points, but one in mountain. So that someone who can simply make it through willpower through the mountain stages. And I'll put them so let's say they simply have another friend. Max him on after his fitness peak on mountain stages is just going to be a disaster. And also have him support Maxim in Novobeskov. He doesn't have to do any attacks anyway, simply to have someone not after the fitness peak, because it's another tour, and then without any regeneration, basically Maxim will be on his own. So I think going to break my initial rule just slightly, because we've seen last time how terrible it is with those low-level folks being there after a fitness peak. And he gets the big fitness peak here and the small fitness peak there. So let's see how this experiment fares. Another thing we can check is, oh, if we set expectations too low, we actually get priority on Timo's arrow and anything else. So that's something we don't want. It's always Novobeskov. Oh, here we have this. So that just changes a little bit in intensity, in importance. And low expectations is the only time we have Timo's arrow on here. Doesn't really matter for us since we have plenty of money left anyway. So then let's go with the balanced focus and low expectations. The only difference here is that Novobeskov is a bit more important and the rest seems to stay the same. I don't forgot to add that. Yeah, this is fine. So everyone, our two main friends do every race except the two where someone has a fitness trough, and then we have another friend, Ulan, who will fill in, and these happen to coincide with reasonably mountainous stages. And so let's see what kind of difference that makes. Having someone having 1+1 in mountain and B being on the fitness peak. Okay, then let's start the season. That's going to be a long stage. So I'll leave it here for the time being, and that's something where we can continue in the next episode of the Cyclist Amateur Tactics.